Ah, false alarm. No, that is a bite. Ooh, this is a nice fish. Good evening. Welcome back to Frugal Outdoors with myself, Dylan. And I've been so spoilt recently. Every time I've come out, it's been glorious sunshine. And it's much the same today. So it's no secrets where I'm fishing today. I'm fishing a venue that I've fished many times before. As you can see behind me there, that's Fort Victoria Pier, the old pier. You can't get on it at all because it's completely rotten. But we're fishing low tide, just after low tide actually, fishing it up. No specific target as such, but obviously I would love to try and get into a bream, and I'd love to try and get a smooth hound. So with that being said, I've got the right sort of baits and I've got the right rigs, but I'm just going to chuck a bait out, see what happens. So thanks for stopping by. I'm going to get my gear set up over there, and hopefully we can find a couple of fish. Cheers. Oh, I'm really excited to be out today. It's absolutely stunning. To be honest, it's a pretty good tide. It is getting into the full moon phase, but they're not massive tides if I'm honest. So I will be fishing with 7-ounce grippers, but we should be okay. I hope we're okay anyway. If not, we'll just bring him in a little bit closer, and with any luck, we'll find a fish. Even if it's a dogfish, I don't really mind. It would be nice to get the desired species this evening, obviously, which is definitely going to be a bream. I'm going to fish for a bream on both rods, I think, on the first cast. Just stick 2 bream rigs out there, and then I'll switch over and stick a whole squid out there. I'll go through my bait in a minute. But the first thing I've done is filled up my cool box with water and started defrosting my bait, because it is frozen solid. But it is still, so still. You can see the water, the clarity is really good. Visibility is good if you're a diver. But as a fisherman, I don't think it really helps, but hey ho. So I'll switch back over to my braid for this evening, and I'm fishing with my 2 Daiwa rods. One's a Tournament Pro Surf, and one's a Air Surf. And they're both 13'6" and both rated 4 to 8 ounce. But yeah, I've opted for the braid again today. It might be a mistake because of the size of the tide. If it is, I have got my spare spools with some mono already set up, ready to rock and roll. But like I said, I think we'll be all right. So we are fishing Fort Victoria, which is straight into the Solent, really nice deep water venue. So it gives us an opportunity, even though it's really bright sunshine, to hopefully get into some fish while it's still daylight. Because obviously we've got enough depth there that it's still quite dark down at the bottom of the water. But yeah, there's been some really good fish coming out around the island at the moment. Absolute donkey smooth hounds. And some really big stingers, being the stingrays, but we're talking 50 pound plus. And best part of 20 pound, 19 pounds. So if that's you, buddy, well done. Absolutely cracking fish. There we go. I'm facing the sunlight. As you all probably know by now, not just me says it, lots of people say it. When you're trying to film, you kind of need the sun facing you, because otherwise you get silhouetted and nobody can see your face. Not that anyone would want to see it anyway, but hey ho. So I do apologise, I am going to have to wear my sunglasses because I literally cannot see. But yeah, pretty spoilt on the island at the moment. It's really good. So if you're planning a holiday or a trip over, then please do pop yourselves over, because the fishing is really not too bad. Right, so bream rigs. Both of these are bream rigs. In fact, they're both made very similarly. One up, one down is my preferred choice for a bream rig. And I started using pop-ups for my top snood, and I do find, like on my last couple of sessions, the pop-ups seem to sniff out the fish, which is great. So I'm using some of those, and later on I'll probably use a dongle rig. As always, all the rigs are available from Slamfish Isle of Wight, and also from the website. So bait this evening, popped into Slamfish. As always, we've got some nice shore peeler crab in the water defrosting, so I'm gonna have to wait a while. I've got 2 spider peeler crabs, probably a little bit early to be using those, but who knows. And then in the shade over here, I've got a pack of squid because I want those to defrost as well, and they're going to defrost probably a little bit quicker where they are. I want those to defrost slowly, but these I need to defrost in a minute. And then I've also got some ragworm. Now, I probably should be trying for a stingray with some rag, but I'm not really that fussed if I'm honest. So I bought this for a comp at the weekend, and as it happens, I didn't fish the comp, so I've got a whole lot of rag left over. It's Tuesday now. I picked this up on Saturday, so the chances are it's not going to be in very good condition, and I would be completely wrong. It is not bad. That is moving. It's just moving really slowly, but it's only just come out of the fridge. But we have actually got, yeah, there we go, look. Awesome. So my plan is, at the moment, is to fish for bream to start with some squid, and then I'll change it up with some bigger baits, again squid, crab, but also some big bundles of ragworm, and hopefully we can get a couple of fish. We should be able to. Probably the most stupidest thing I've said all night. Now, I'm not ashamed to say, a couple of these rigs have been used a few times already, and my view is, check the hooks. If the hooks are relatively sharp, then they're good to go. So there we are, my bream rig. It's only a 2-hook bream rig. We've got a snood for the bottom, as it's a 1 up, 1 down. 1 down, snood, couple of beads. Top one, slightly shorter snood, and a couple of pop-ups. I say everyone's got their preferences. I like using Canoe hooks. I've been using them for quite some time now, and I've noticed a few other people have started to use them as well. If the fish are in front of you, it doesn't matter what hook you've got on. So I'm just really quickly just cutting a couple of strips of squid. Stick that on the box. Not doing anything special here. Literally just thread the hook through, twist it around, thread it through again, get enough squid on there so you can get it over the eye and the knot, bring those down, and there we are, that's it. Now, we might get pestered by spider crabs because there's quite a few crabs around at the moment, but we should be able to fish through. You might just have to check those first couple of casts, and hopefully if they are there, they'll move on through. And there we go, 2 hooks with bait on. Let's quickly chuck this one out and then we'll sort the other one out. There we go. And you'll notice I'm using lead lifts today because, like I said, there is a bit of a ledge out here. As long as you can get over the other side of it and reel hard enough, then the lead lift will do its job and hopefully bring it up over the top. But there's certainly no guarantees. So let's chuck this one out, give it a reasonably healthy lob, and hopefully we'll get a bite. Chuck this one, so where am I going? Let's chuck this one straight in front of us and then see where it goes. There we go. Now we've got every chance of picking a smooth hound up on these rigs. I say the last time I went out, the first bait I threw out was a bream rig and we caught a nice little smooth hound, only a few pounds. But it still goes to show that those smooth hounds will take smaller baits as well. Drag is set. Let's bait the other one up. It's going to be exactly the same, so I'm not going to bother showing you. And then my third one will probably bait up a nice big ball of ragworm. We've definitely got some tide out there, which is great. And that one's just pulled a little bit to the left. Like I say, flooding tide here is left to right, but as soon as that water starts to come in, it does seem to start backheading a little bit, so it's going the wrong way, but it doesn't really matter. This one I'll just chuck to the right now and hopefully try and counteract it a little bit. Oh yeah, we've definitely got some tide. I might end up switching over in a minute to the mono, but we'll see. We should be okay. I fished it in stronger tides with a braid. It can be a little bit harder sometimes, but we'll see how we get on anyway. Right, let's get third rig sorted. Right, try and keep my eye on these rods. and do my third rig at the same time. What I'm doing is using double pronged baiting tool. I'm threading a worm on each side, only sort of halfway up really. What I'm going to do is make a bit of a bundle of them really, so that I can put them on a dongle. There we go. Right, we've got all their heads together. That's the hardest part. And just bring it down. So I've got 3 worms here. Yeah, look at that. So that's going to be a nice ragworm sausage to go out. We'll bait that on the dongle. We should be good to go. Like so, I've got half a pound of worm here, and there's no way I'm going to get another session out of it. So I am going to probably go a bit mad with it, but I want to use it up. Certainly don't want to get to the end of the session and I've got still quarter of a pound. Whoa, what's going on with that one? Is that just pinged because of the tide? So like I say, this is a dongle rig. So we've got a nice piece of 300-pound braid there. 1 3/0 circle hook. We pop that in the top and then we wrap that braid down the side of the bait. But a fair bit of elastic on there because it is basically the braid and the elastic that's going to hold it all together. And then I think I'm going to have a look at that left-hand rod because it's bouncing. I think it's moving in the tide, but it's bouncing in a funny way, which means there might be a fish on it. But let's take this one over, and then we've got a nice bait there, look, that we can swap it out for. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, sometimes these breakaway imps are a bit of a pickle. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get this one back, because that is well over. Well, we got it up. Now we just got to get it over the top. Wind, 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 wind. There's a tiny little bit of weed in the water. Phew. Well, we're completely stripped, so the next bits of squid I think I'm going to bind on with a bit of Baitex, and hopefully it will last a little bit longer because that's not been out for very long. Probably going to keep this in a little bit closer just while that tide's raging, and also there's every opportunity of catching a bass on this rig, so not going to hit it very far at all. And seeing as that one is still to the right, we'll just flop this one out in front of us. There we are. So I can see here where the tide is coming through. You can kind of see where the depth of the water is. So I've just dropped that into the slightly shallower water, so I'm not over the other side of the ledge by any means. It might make it a little bit harder to get back, but I think I'm happier with it being there, to be honest. Right, it's bait up again. And basically, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 4, maybe 5 hours. Bait up, change it over, bait up, change it over. But hopefully we can get into a fish. Seen quite a few boats head out with rods on the back, so they're fishing. And I'm itching to get back out on the sib again. Although we didn't catch last time out, it certainly got me excited for it. And I've bit the bullet, and I've bought a few bits and bobs for it. So hopefully, whether or not they'll turn up in time for the weekend, I don't know. But if they do, then hopefully we've got a fish finder. So. But yeah, that's quite exciting. Been watching a few videos and stuff, trying to brush up, trying to get some tips. A few people have been messaging, which is really lovely, and your comments, as always, are brilliant. They really do help. So yeah, I'm excited to get back out on it again. I mean, an evening like tonight, oh, it'd be stunning. But for the minute, we're shore fishing. Hopefully we can get a bite. And there we go, look. Look at that. That one's all clipped up. In the breakaway imp there, looking really nice. What I've done is I've switched it up a little bit. I've got a lead without a lift, which goes against everything that I was saying earlier, just to see if it holds a little bit better in the tide. But what it does mean is I'm gonna have to crank it really, really hard, try and get it up over the ledge. But we'll try one without a lift just to see, and see if it makes a difference. Because like I say, adding a lead lift can sometimes turn that lead into a bit of a sail. But at the moment they're sitting not too bad, to be honest. So just want to see one move. Oh, that's heavy. I think I've got weed on there. Must be weed or a big old crab. Oh, there we go. Just came out of the water. What have we got? Crab, weed, crab. Yeah. Spider crab. Yay. God, it's amazing the weight of one of those. When you're dragging it through the water, it's like dragging a dustbin lid through. Definitely no peeler, but we'll chuck this one straight back in. But hopefully there's not too many of them around, but it does mean that at some point these little puppies are going to be peeling, and then we won't have to use last year's, we can get some nice fresh ones. We'll just keep sort of testing the tide. I'm not whacking it. This one seems to be going slack now, so it might be that the tide's eased up a little bit. In which case I'll be able to send it out there a little bit further. Let's change the other one while we're there. Completely slack this one, so that means obviously that tide is starting to change, move around a little bit. A little bit of weed in the water. It's not too bad. Well, I definitely think I'm getting a little bit hounded by crabs. Ever so slight movements. Like I say, there's not a lot of tide out there at the moment at all. I'm getting slight pull downs on the rod, and whether I've got that braid, I can see everything. I've got a feeling my baits are getting caned by the crabs. So I'm not going to give them very much longer, and I'm going to change them again. I might chuck out maybe a peeler crab, I think. The sun is still quite high in the sky, but it's not going to be long before it's going to start dropping, and then we're hitting prime time. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if I lose. Wouldn't surprise me if I lose a couple of hooks tonight. Got a little bit of bait on the pop-up, which is to be expected because obviously it's popped up, but the bottom one is completely gone. I think now tide is moving left to right, so I need to stick this one further to the left and switch the rods around. Let's stick this one right out there as well. There we go. Time to send out some crab. Crab and squid combo there. Trying to bulk out the crab a little bit. A few of them are quite small, but there is 6 in a packet, so yeah, bulk them a little bit with some squid. And like I said, I've got those spiders as well, so we can always bulk that out. But sun is slowly getting closer to the horizon. Hopefully it will switch on, because it hasn't yet. Now I am still fishing with a bream rig, but only one now. One bream rig, 2 dongles. Tide's picked up again as well, so now there's a nice little bit of movement out there. You never know, it might change things, but yeah, struggling at the minute. Come on, fish. So, we've been fishing for an hour and a half and we haven't had a single touch yet. But this tide has been all over the place tonight. It's whipping around to the right again now. But I don't suppose the 2 casts have been the same. It's been moving backwards, then it's done nothing at all, which is quite nice, easy fishing. Now it's whipping to the right, but it's been doing that for the entire hour and a half, which is not making it for very easy fishing. But we've got baits in the water, and that's all we can do, isn't it? For baits in the water, then we've got a chance of catching a fish. The sun's now dropped, so, you know, I'm thinking now is as good a time as any, if not the best time, really. I think in the next half an hour could be our prime time. So we've got 2 crab baits out there at the moment, but I'm going to change those up in a second. But yeah, at the moment, like I say, because I've got my drag set quite light, every now and again I'm hearing the click of the drag. So I'm tightening down just enough, but then if I do get a fish, hopefully it will take the line. But yeah, that tide is ripping. So the next ones I'm going to drop in just a little bit closer, and hopefully we get a fish. But it's a beautiful evening, it's super still. Obviously now the sun's gone, it's gone a little bit cooler, but feels like summer. It's wicked. Feels like summer apart from we're not catching many bream. Right, let's have a little change up. Let's stick flapper back out. I've got 2 bream rigs ready to go again. Ah, there we go. I've got a bit of weed on that one, that's why. The crabs are pretty relentless at the moment, so I'm kind of battling them, trying to keep bait on the hooks. I think that one there that was crab and squid has been nailed, because obviously it's got the squid on there as well. I'm going to drop this one in a little closer. Just past the end of the pier, it's not very far, maybe 50-60 yards, if that. Try and keep it out of the tide just a smidge, just on the edge of it really is where I want to try and be. Oh. Oh dear. Look at that. Look what I caught. Check that out. I caught my baiting tool. That's cool. At least we're not blanking. Oh, win. That's cool, isn't it? Oh dear. Well, at least we got it back. I would have been devastated if I lost that. There we go, I've just piggybacked a nice bit of that spider peeler crab there, look. Lovely bait, with no baiting tool in at this time. Not entirely sure where this tide is going at the moment, because it's stopped pulling again now, so I'm just going to stick this pretty much in front of us. Now my last session, when I was struggling with the tide, I did chuck crab bait in close for a bass and I ended up getting a couple of hounds. So I might try the same thing here. The one on the right is fine. It's always my lighter of the two rods that does struggle in some of these more tidal venues. I'm going to change it up. It's a Bream rig anyway, so, but yes, got some pull on it. Look at that. Pull, and then there's nothing, no weight at all, no weed. Not struggling with the tide, it just comes up really easy. Crazy. Little bit of weed, tiny amount. Well, there's no bait on that anyway. Nearly time for a head torch. Nearly. Not quite, but we're nearly there. Not even seen our friendly little dogfish. Oh, what's that? Yeah, I think that's just the tide moving, that one. All right, let's just stick it in a bit closer. Right on the end of the pier. There we go. Got to be something lurking around there. After a tiny little bit of squid, probably a snag. Who knows what is on the end of that pier? Like I say, it's quite dilapidated. Loads of it's fallen in. Could have just landed right in amongst it all, but hey ho. If I have, maybe there's a fish there. No, my luck tonight, it's probably a load of crabs. Some of my regular viewers, if you don't mind me doing me a huge favour, I've been using a new camera for the last two sessions, this one and the previous one. And if you don't mind just giving me your opinion on the quality, brightness, etc. Because I'm not 100% convinced that I'm sold on it yet. But I've got to give it a chance, give it a couple of sessions. I mainly bought it for the SIB, to be honest, because it is an action cam. But yeah, if you don't mind letting me know what you think of the footage, then it'd be very much appreciated. Oh, hello, that's a bite, isn't it? Oh, I think that's just a lead move. That looked like a Kraken bite, it was bouncing. Oh, false alarm. That is a bite. Yeah, we've gone really slow. Oh yeah. Yes. There we go. Come on, mate. Oh yeah, finally we've got into a fish. I'd say it's a hound for sure. Oh. putting up a good account for itself. I just had to play with the drag a little bit. There we go. See, this is why I fish with a leader, a mono leader on the braid, just so that, whoa, if you get into a big fish like this, sorry, if you get into a big fish like this, then it's got a little bit of stretch in that line, so it's not just instant, you know, strain where it can pull a hook. Ooh, this is a nice fish. I mean, there is a lot of tide out there. Can't see it yet. This one I absolutely whacked out there. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's still under that other line. That's okay, we're good. Whew. Come on. There it is. Right, let's go and have a look. Oh. Oh, there we go. Nice fish. It's not massive, but it's a few pounds, that's for sure. Put up a hell of a scrap. Oh, I don't know how heavy it is. I have got the scales, so I might actually weigh this one. I don't know whether it'll be close to a double or not, but well worth the wait. Look at that, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful fish. There we go. I don't know if you can see that one. £8 too. I am chuffed with that. Beautiful. I love these things. Look at it. And that circle hook was just perfectly straight in the top. One single circle hook. Right, let's send this one back. There we go. Let's just let it get its breath back. Breath. I mean, I don't breathe, but you know what I mean. There we go. Awesome. Ah, yeah. Wicked. Oh, cool, man. Starting to lose a little bit of faith, if I'm honest. Literally only just put that one out. I haven't even got the other one baited up yet. So let's do that. So that one was actually on spider crab. So needless to say, I'm baiting up a bit of spider crab again now, with a couple of legs as well. I got 3 baits out of 1 crab. So I'm just gonna whack this on the other dongle. Like I said, I didn't even get a chance to bait this one up. Oh, I'm shaking a bit. That put up a really, really good fight. It felt really, really heavy. £8, just over £8. That's why I weighed it, because it was like, what? But yeah, scales don't lie. Oh, cool. Well, we're putting out another crab bait, and I'm still fishing with a bream rig as well, because I would like to see if I can get a bream. There we go, just like so. And what we should be able to do with this one, because it wasn't out there very long at all, is we should be able to just piggyback like a shore peeler or something onto the back of it. And then we'll be good to go again. Oh, awesome. I'm starting to wonder if there was any fish out here. And lo and behold, there's at least one. Right, let's belt this out there again then, because that's where that one was. Right out there. So cool. Well, not a giant, but we'll definitely take it. Oh, struggling to stay in contact with the lead. There we go. Ah, cool, man. Oh, so chuffed. Yeah, look, I mean, that bait is pretty much fully intact. So what I'm going to do is just going to smash a little bit of peeler crab straight on the back of it. God, it is so still at the minute. The sky is absolutely amazing. The tide's not moving whatsoever, completely slack at the moment. So I'm guessing we're pretty close to the top of the tide. High tide tonight, I think, is about 10:30, and it's 10 o'clock now, so we're pretty close. Bit of a strange one really in the solent, because obviously as the tide does start to ebb, you still got the tide coming in at the bottom end. So you still do get a bit of a surge. In the middle of the solent, I'm pretty much, not in the middle, but we probably will get a bit more tide coming up. We just won't get a lot of movement, and then it will just fly out. But I put two nice crab baits out straight away after catching that smooth hound, pulled the bream rig in, and they've literally just sat there the whole time, not moving. Much the same story for the rest of the evening really, but we'll keep going. We've got time. Still got 2 rigs baited, hanging off the tripod, crab bait and a bream rig with squid. So we'll chuck those out in a minute. So basically the pier to my left is shaped like a T. So it goes out and then it comes out at the end, left and right. So basically what I've done is I've just stuck it right in the corner. So could be a bit risky, but it's only a couple of little bits of squid. Might pick up a pollock or something under there. Maybe even a bass, maybe a bream. But it's definitely worth a go, I think. But also it means it's not very far out, so it's not massively in the tide. It's definitely in the tide, but it's not horrendous. God, it is so quiet. Not even just on the fishing front, but just in general. I feel like I'm whispering. I am whispering. Yeah. Yeah, definitely crabs. Okay. Well, I thought that tide was going to pick up, but it hasn't done it at all yet. Let's see what happens. That one's way off to my right, probably about 1:30 on the clock. So I should be able to put this one at 1, and if the tide does run, then it's got somewhere to go. Where are we going? About there. Or we'll go 12:30. It's not very far anyway, so hopefully it won't pull round too much. Oh my God. The sea is so still. It was pulling a little bit of line a minute ago, but now it's stopped, and it is like glass. Everywhere I look out there, it is just so flat. Oh, I thought I saw a bite just as I turned my head then. Well, we've got a full moon tonight, woohoo. And I think it must be way back over there, and it's really low. Yeah, we are getting a bite. There we go. Something's having a go. Looks a little bit more sort of dogfish strap conger eel like rather than a smooth hound. But at this point we'll take it. But it's a bite. We haven't had one for a while. Oh, we're in a snag. Oh no, we got it. Oh. What we got? Not a very big fish, but it's a fish. What we got? Yeah, it's a little strap conger. I thought it was. Absolutely giant bait sticking out of its mouth. There we go. A little snot eel. Whoa, lively one. Let's get this one straight back in, and let's see if we can't catch another fish before it's time to go. Oh, well, because I haven't got long left, and I've only brought apparently 2 dongle rigs with me, I've done away with the bream rig, so I can just use up this crab. So I've had to get a pulley pennel out. But yeah, look at that for a bait. Oozing. Look at that, juicy, juicy morsel. Yeah, so it's just a pulley rig, breakaway imp, same as the other one, but it's just on a, it's just a pennel setup. Well, I've got to be honest, this tide should have turned a good while ago. And it's getting much higher. I know I said it gets a bit of a surge, but this is silly. There we go, look at that. Legs everywhere. Nice juicy, juicy crab bait. Well, we certainly chucked some nice baits out there tonight. We've had a couple of fish, but can't help but always want a couple more. But honestly, I really can't complain. I've really enjoyed it so far. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we can get one more. This water is literally right underneath my rod stand. Right, there we go. That's the last one to go out. Let's chuck this out and then have a little tidy. Give this some 15 minutes. Hopefully I can bring you back to another fish. Well, I've given these last couple a good 15-20 minute soak, and there's been absolutely no movement. I mean, I've really enjoyed this evening. It's been super still, really quiet down here. Fishing's been okay. I've had a couple of fish, had a nice smooth hound, which I was really pleased about. And then we had that little conger, so not too bad for our efforts, really. I hope you also enjoyed the watch, and if you did enjoy it and you haven't already subscribed, then please do think about it. And also, if you click that notification bell, obviously you get notified every time I put an upload up. I've been really enjoying the last few sessions, to be honest. We've definitely got into a few hounds, and I think we're middle of May now, just about in the middle of May. And next session, I think I'm going to head out to the back of the island. But anyway, until the next one, please take care, stay safe, and maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers.